So we now move on to the next project, which is the one that I mentioned earlier, using typefaces in an emotive way to support the process of thinking and reasoning, for which speaker Sharmila Maladi has worked with a professor, Abhrojit Boral, and to explain this, she has created a font-based board game to test the efficacy of the use of emotive factor in the rather cognitive environment of learning and reasoning. So, Sharmila, please come on board and make your presentation.
So, for everybody else, I created a game to learn fonts. So, as I'm in my college and I see all designers around me, and I see a problem that is there, which is we as I am a visual communication designer, so we know fonts more than the other designers and other people. So my main focus was the designers, but then okay, so this is basically this game will be played by anybody, but the major audience that I focused on was 8 plus, to whoever wants to learn fonts. And how this basically was to learn how fonts are associated with feelings. So earlier in my age, I didn't know that fonts were at all related to feelings, and that feelings could actually work with fonts, or we have to choose a font based on feelings or the content. But then when I got into my college, and then I studied how emotions are invoked by fonts, so hence I was really interested that to know that this happens. So I started learning myself how fonts invoke emotions and feelings. Then I did an activity to know how much in my college and my university people know about fonts and feelings. And I will show you some images. I So this activity had 4 words every day. 4 words every day. I stick these posters around my campus, and people had to answer which emotion is being invoked by the typeface. So this is one word. I put this up in my college near the canteen. People would have to answer saying which font best represents the word. So this is one word. This is another. And then this was a part of my extended research. I wanted to know how much people know about the fonts. And by this, I got to know that people actually related from the semantic memories. Semantic memories, I mean that whatever they have seen in their past, if I say Coca-Cola, then they would particularly relate to that font of Coca-Cola rather than any other. If I use a Helvetica, they would not relate to it. They would specifically relate to the Coca-Cola font. And that was my major observation from this activity. Yeah, these are some images. So people were actually interested in playing games and having fun with it. Some people wrote some things on the stickers and things like that. So I thought a game would be a best option to it. So I proceeded with the game, and I will show you the pictures of the game. So this was the main board game. So this game basically has 5 more games in it. So we start from the starting point. Then there are different fonts written on each of the block, each of the next on your paths basically. So there are these pick a card, where you have to pick a card that will be put here, which has some action saying move to the next serif font or move to the next sans serif font. And there will obviously be guide which will actually teach them what are serif fonts, what are sans serif fonts, what are the feelings they invoke. So on each of the step there is the name of the designer written, and the feelings and emotions that the particular font invokes has been written. And then so I have different games. So when we start from here, we move to the first game, that is fill the field. So you have three keywords. You have to see the three keywords, and seeing the three keywords, you will have to guess the word. So when I say this, I move to the first one, which is traditional. I hope you can see it. This one. So yeah, so traditional. So after my research, I had a list of all the fonts which people relate to and the particular feelings they relate to the font. Like serif fonts are more traditional, more serious, and things like that. And so yeah, here are some words which you have to guess using the keywords, and then there'll be answer written on the back. And coming to the next game. So next game is feelings. So these are the words that I actually put in my activity that people had to choose one font in. Says, see, if it is hostel, then how bland you think your hostel is. If it's crush, then what are the physical attributes of your crush based on this font? So you have to answer these questions, and the particular font that I have used have been selected by my I mean the people I've surveyed among. And these are the cards which are in pick a card. Here when they pick a card, there are different uh, options in pick a card. So yeah, go back to the last serif font that you crossed, or you lose next two turns, go back 2 steps, simple steps, and some okay, so yeah, so that you can learn switch places between people and things like that. Coming to the next game, there's a quiz which is based on fonts again. Simple questions like I said, Coca-Cola. So yeah, what font does Coca-Cola use? And yeah, there's Castle of Terrors. So when I did the research, I got to know that people associate Gothic fonts with danger and terrors and things like that. So this game is totally based on Gothic fonts. So yeah, it has all the Gothic fonts. And so there's a game, I don't know if anybody knows or not. So there's a game in which you have 6 pairs of cards and 1 queen. The end of the game is whoever has the queen wins. I would have actually loved to show you the cards again. Okay, so this Castle of Terrors is basically a game where you either lose the whole game or go 10 steps ahead, or if you normally win, then you just go ahead. And you this game will be played between 2 players. So whoever has crossed the Castle of Terrors can be brought back to Castle of Terrors, and if the other person has not reached the Castle of Terrors yet, so you bring the person to Castle of Terrors, and the person loses 3 next chances. That is the yeah. Okay, so then we have pick a card again. You pick a card, and um there are different actions that you have to do. Then there are, as I said, many fonts written on it. Some of the font cards also have pick a card. Yeah, then there is another quiz, which is a general knowledge quiz having fun questions like which was the first Disney movie and things like that. So yeah, that is how it goes. So my basic purpose to do this was to learn fonts. I myself was not very familiar with all the fonts, all the kind of fonts, but through this process, I've learned a lot and learned fonts. I myself have played the game, and yeah, so which actually helps. So this is basically for the people who are growing up. When I was doing my research, I also researched, my target audience was also the non-designers who don't know anything about font but still use font in their daily life, which is when they're making presentations or anything else. So yes, that was it. Okay. In this process, Abhrojit sir has helped me a lot, and he knows about fonts more than me, obviously. And I was really not sure about the game, but then after playing it myself, I should say that this helps people to learn about fonts and feelings.
So thank you, Sharmila, for attempting this, a board game to understand fonts, especially for the non-designer, because and like you said, everybody needs to use fonts. So I thank you for presenting your project, and please stay on.
Yeah.
That we can all meet at the end of the last presentation that's coming up ahead. Thank
Yes,
you
yes.
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.